Children, welcome back to our English classroom. Today we are going to discuss about the conversion from active to passive. Hope you have learned the tense structures properly. Okay, so let's go to the session. The first one is simple present tense. Active form, subject plus verb plus object. Passive form, object takes subjective part, means object comes at the beginning of the statement, object plus then to be forms, that is the helping verbs, then past participle form of verb, that is verb third form, by plus subject. Okay, so let's see the example. This shop sells science books. Okay, so in this statement, what is the subject? Yes, this is the subject. This shop sells is the verb and science books is the object. So when you convert the active voice to passive voice, object takes subjective part, means object, what is the object over here? Science books. Science books come to the subjective part. So science books. Okay, next, what do you want to observe? Yes, you need to check out whether the subject of the statement is singular or plural. Yes, science books, it is plural. So plural helping verb is are. Science books are. Sell, sold, sold. So are sold by whom? By subject comes objective part. Okay, by this shop. You get me? In the case of present continuous tense, we are using subject plus is, am, are plus verb ing form or ing form of the verb. Okay, so look at here. Present continuous tense, active voice, subject plus is, am, are, verb ing or ing form of the verb plus object. Okay, so in the case of passive voice, object comes at first or at the beginning. Object plus is, am, are plus. Only in the case of the continuous tense, you have to use the being. What? B-E-I-N-G, being. Only in the case of continuous tense. Okay, so object plus is, am, are plus being plus past participle form of verb plus by plus subject. Okay, then try to transform the statement as given below. They are eating bananas. Try to, yes, which is the object over here? Bananas. So bananas, whether it is singular or plural? Yes, it is plural. Then bananas are, then what will come? Eating, being, then past participle form of the verb, being eaten by, they become objective case. Subjective case they change to objective case, them in passive voice. Okay, next, present perfect tense. Okay, so in the present perfect tense, active voice structure is subject plus has or have plus past participle form of verb, means verb third form plus objects. But in the case of passive voice, object plus has or have plus been plus past participle form of verb plus by plus subject. Okay, so here we are using has or have plus been. Continuous tense, being. Then perfect tense, we are using been. Okay, so you can see the example over here. Our team has won the match. Okay, so how to transform the statement? Look at the, our team is the subject, has won the match, object. Okay, so try to find out. One is the verb and okay, Then try to find out the match. Yes, the match has been, yes, has been won by our team. Finished. Okay, our team has won the match. The match has been won by our team. Okay, the next one is in the case of the question. Okay, has he done the work? Okay, so in according to this manner, what you want to do, you don't want to change the helping verbs or the questioning word. Has he done the work? Okay, in this, in the case of helping verbs, we are using helping verbs for asking questions. Okay, so when you change or when you transform the statement into passive voice, it never change or it remains unchanged. Okay, so has itself you need to write it never or it remains unchanged. Has, the rest of the statement that you need to take care of. Okay, so in this statement, which is the subject, yes, he, and done is the verb and the work is the object. So object comes at the beginning, has the work. In the case of present perfect tense, you need to use been. Then done. Done by he, subjective case, objective case of he, yes, him. Okay, has the work been done by him? Next one is in the case of simple past. In the case of simple past, the active voice structure is subject plus did form, means verb second form or the past form of the verb plus object. Okay, in the case of passive voice, object comes at the beginning of the statement, then was or were having verbs in the case of past tense. Okay, was or were, past participle form of verb plus by plus subject. Okay, look at the example over here. They completed the work yesterday. What? They completed the work yesterday. Then let us try to transform or convert to passive voice. They completed the work. In this statement, they is the subject, completed is the verb, and the work is the object. So let's try to transform at first the structure. The work, okay, the work is singular or plural. It doesn't mention the works, so it's treated as singular. The work was complete, completed, completed. So past participle form of the verb, that is completed. Completed by plus they become them yesterday. Okay, so what are the things that you need to learn? You need to learn the structures properly and the subjective case to objective case. They become them, I become me, you become you itself, she become her, and he become him. Okay, so they completed the work yesterday, changed to passive voice. The work was completed by them yesterday. So past continuous tense. Okay, so we already know that past helping verbs or to be forms are was or were. Okay, the normal structure of past continuous tense is subject plus was or were plus verb ing form or ing form of verb plus object. Okay, but in the case of passive form, object comes at the beginning, that is object plus was or were plus being plus past participle form of verb plus by plus subject. Okay, so look at the example over here. The police were checking the vehicles. The police were checking the vehicles. So let us try to transform or convert into passive voice. Which is the object over here? Yes, the vehicles. The vehicles vehicles. So it is treated as the plural. So vehicles were being checked by the police. My dear children, to learn the structures very clearly, otherwise you don't know or you can't do any transformation from active to passive voice. Once again I am going to repeat. The police were checking the vehicles. The vehicles were being checked by the police. Because why we are using being over here? Because it is a continuous tense. Okay. In the case of past perfect tense, so we know that the structure of active voice means the normal structure of past perfect. Subject plus had plus V3. V3 means past participle form of verb. Okay. Plus object. In the case of passive voice, object comes at the beginning. Object plus had plus. If it is perfect tense, you have to use been. Object plus had plus been plus past participle form of verb plus by plus subject. Okay, so you have to learn the structures properly. Okay, so let us see the example over here. The clerk had given out the secret. The clerk had given out the secret. Okay, so let's try to transform the statement. Which is the object over here? Yes, the secret. Definitely the secret had been given out by the clerk. Once if you learn the structures properly, it's very easy to transform the statement from active voice to passive voice. Okay, so I repeat once again, the clerk had given out the secret in the case of active voice. In the case of passive voice, the secret had been given out by the clerk. Simple future. Simple future active voice structure is subject plus will or shall plus verb 1 means first form of the verb plus object. Okay, so in the case of passive voice, object comes at the beginning. Object plus will or shall plus be plus past participle form of verb plus by plus subject. Okay, so let's try to transform the statement into passive voice. This is the case of active voice. I will write a letter. Okay, see the structure. Object comes at the beginning, which is a letter. A letter. Then will or shall. A letter will. Then in the case of simple future, will be, write, wrote, written. Will be written by I, subjective case. I's objective case. Yes, me. Okay. Next one is in the case of future perfect tense. Okay. So future perfect tense active voice structure is subject plus will or shall plus have plus verb third form, means past participle form of verb plus object. Okay, but in the case of passive voice, object comes at the beginning. Object plus will or shall plus have plus been plus past participle form of verb, means verb third form plus by plus subject. Okay, let's see the example. He will have written a letter. Okay, he will have written a letter. So a letter will have been written by, he changed to him. Okay, a letter will have been written by him. Look at the example. How can you help him? Okay, so in the case of question words and the modal auxiliary verbs, it will never change, means it remains unchanged. Okay, so itself you have to write how can. The rest will have the changes. So objective case him, subjective case what will come? Yes, he. How can he be, verb third form, helped. Okay, how can he be helped? In the case of imperative sentences, okay, so when imperative sentences are changed into passive voice, they begin with let. Okay, do you know what is imperative statement? Yes, command, request or orders. Okay, so the structure will be let plus object plus be plus V3 in the case of passive voice. Okay, so this is the example. Example, give the pen. Let object the pen be V3 give one. Let the pen be given. It's quite easy, my dear children. You must learn the structures of active to passive, vice versa, passive to active properly, and you must learn the subject, means singular subject, plural subject, and present helping words, past and future helping verbs. Okay, and V1, V2 and V3 forms of the verbs. Okay, then it will be easy for you. Children, I hope you understand the structures from active to passive, vice versa, passive to active. Okay, so sometimes only it will come directly, means active to passive. Most of the cases, passive to active, you need to transform the statements. So that can be seen in your textbook also, page number 68. Post the active voice and the passive voice. Look at the example. The gate was opened by the girl. Transform the statement to active voice. Yes. Who is here? The subject. So the girl opened the gate. Okay, the girl opened the gate. So subjective parts of the active voice will come to the objective case in the passive voice, and objective case will come to the subjective part in the case of passive voice. So if you have any doubt, let us try to change. Let us try to convert this statement into passive voice, because we need to check out whether the statement will be getting or not. Okay, the girl opened the gate. This is the subject, this is the verb, and this is the object. Okay, so object comes at the beginning, the gate. Okay, opened. The gate is singular or plural? Singular, so you have to use was. The gate was opened, past participle form of the verb, V3. Okay, the gate was opened, then by plus. The gate was opened by plus subject. Okay, by the girl. Yes, both are same. Okay, it's quite simple. The apple was given to the teacher by the class. Means at first what we want to take into our account? Yes, the tense structure. Okay, so was given. Was given, do you remember? Yes, if it is was comes, the statement of active voice is in past tense. Okay, then what are things that we need to take into our account? The objective case and the subjective case. Okay, we are going to transfer the statement into active voice. So in the case of passive voice, object takes subject in the case of active voice. So the class, then what will come? Gave, verb. Okay, subject less verb. Then what? The class gave the apple to the teacher. Now let's try to transform the statement into passive voice. The class is the subjective case and apple is the object. Okay, and the have is the verb. So the apple was given to the teacher by the class. Okay, next statement. Lorcan climbed the tree in 2 minutes. Which is this, active voice or passive voice? Yes, it is an active voice. So we need to transform the statement into passive voice. So first, what are things we need to take into our account? The first one is subject and objective case, the tree, and the verb. Okay, so Lorcan is the subject, climbed is the verb, and the tree is the object. Okay, climbed is already given in the form of past tense. So the statement is past. Okay, so we are going to transform the statement. What will come at first? The object. Okay, the tree, whether it is singular or plural, the tree is singular. So the tree was, verb third form, climbed by plus subject, by Lorcan in 2 minutes. Okay, children, let me clear out one of your doubt. What's that? We just discussed about only 8 tense structures. Then what about others? And we have some exceptional cases, especially in grammar. So here also we are following and we are using the same thing in the case of passive voice and active voice, or vice versa. No passive formation for the following tenses. Do you know what are the tenses, or which are the tenses? Present perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense, and future continuous tense, future perfect continuous tense. Okay, so it's quite simple. What are the things that you need to keep it in your mind? At first, the structures and the subject, whether the subject of the statement takes singular or plural. Then present helping was past and future. Okay, so then this will be easy for you. I hope you understand the session, active voice and passive voice. We'll see you soon later with our next module. Till then, bye and take care.